Let's make a watermelon table cover inspired by a squishmallow. So for this project, I looked into my fabrics and I wanted to find some that would really match the bright colors of the squishmallow I got from Walgreens. So it's a really fun bright red, it has some greens, whites, and then there's also the black for the seeds. So I really wanted to be sure to call out each of those colors with the choices I picked. So I started off cutting out a green stripe for the rind of the watermelon. For this, you could either do it as a curve or on a rectangle. I did a 2-inch strip across and cut that out on a curve shape to give it that cute watermelon design. So this is what it looks like, all nice and expanded and opened. I have a symmetrical curve. Now I'm going to cut out a very similar strip using the white. The white I picked did have a little bit of sparkle in it, which I thought would be a really nice touch for a table cover. Again, this was a 2-inch strip that I did on a slight curve, but you could do a rectangle as well. For the red, I actually had 2 different options. I had this really bright solid as well as this not as bright red print that I thought would just actually look really pretty and look much more like a watermelon. So I decided to go with that. And what I wanted to do was the bottom piece was going to be curved and then the top part I was going to leave straight across. So I cut this using that same curved shape that I had for the white and green pieces. If you kept this as a rectangle, it'd definitely be very easy to just cut it straight across. The nice part about this table cover is it's very adjustable, so if you wanted a larger table cover, you could easily do that, all depending on what your measurements were. So with my 3 pieces now all cut out, all I have to do is actually sew each of these up. So with right sides together, I'm going to be pinning the green with the white, and then with right sides together, I'll be pinning the white with the red. And I will just take a seam straight across exactly where I pinned so that I can have one piece for that watermelon front. So here is the sewn up piece for the front of my watermelon table cover. What I'm going to do now is actually cut the seams so that I'll be able to iron it flat. And this will give it a little bit more room since it is that curved seam. If you did just do a rectangle here, you do not need to do this step. So now it's time to add the seeds to my watermelon. So I cut out just really small pieces of black rectangles and then folded them over. And what I'm going to do is sew up 3 of the 4 sides for each of these. So I'm just going to pin 3 of the 4 sides, sew those up, and then I'll turn them right side out and I'll be able to then sew those onto my watermelon. So like I said previously, these are now all sewn up, and what I'm going to do is turn them right side out. I did clip the edges as well as on some of the loose strings so that it'd be much easier to turn them, and then I'm going to press them with the iron and then start to pin them in place onto my watermelon front so that I'll be able to top stitch these in place onto the watermelon. So now I'm just going to go through with black thread and top stitch all the seeds on. So here's the front of my table cover. You can see the seeds are now all nice and attached. It's looking really good. So what we're going to do now is I have to cut out a backing for it. I did wait until I already had the full front done, just in case there were any measurements off, but you could definitely have done this ahead of time if you'd like. Then you're going to pin with right sides together, the front and the back of the table covering, and then take a seam all the way around, but leave like about a 2-inch gap so you can turn this right side out. So with it all nice and turned right side out, all I need to do is top stitch all the way around it so that I can also close up that opening that I had used to turn. And here's the completed table cover. I love how it turned out. The watermelon pattern is so fun, and I believe it matches the Squishmallow perfectly. If you like this video and want to see more, be sure to like and subscribe.